IoT status exchange platform.
Thank you very much for the introduction. So, hi everybody. This is the last presentation today. So, unfortunately, even the Global IoT Day is soon over. But I hope this last topic will be also a little bit interesting. I am Josef Bayer, and I am going to talk about the importance of having a unified user interface for all of your IoT devices and services. I know that the IoT is about the things, but I'm convinced that the biggest challenge in the Internet of Things still be reaching the people. According to my model, the IoT is a combination of sensors, connectivity, and people, or data being pre-processed, coming finally to the users. And there are also other models, of course. This is that's why it's a model, because it expresses our point of view. You can see really great things and gadgets nowadays communicating with each other and with some control devices, and we hope that there are coming even more of them. And the unpleasant homework, if you are an IoT developer, is still be working on the communication platform in the background and, of course, a sensible user interface. So, IoT is a hype now, which is good. And there are dozens and hundreds of applications. And actually, there are more IoT device connection than Internet users worldwide. The trend is clear. And we hope having even more and more similar applications. So there are more IoT apps actually also in the stores than typically free space on your smartphone launch screen. And if we would like to only list the main categories of them, and then you can see that people will have smart parking, baby monitoring applications, package tracking applications, freight tracking applications, Lego and toy sensors, and DIY kits. So, but do the customers really need 50+1 apps on their smartphones just managing and tracking their devices? So what we are thinking about this, there is no chance that many of the users will install your app if you are not among the 50 big ones. It's easier if you could sell your own gadget, but if you are an IoT service provider, it's even harder. It's quite interesting that even today it has been also a topic also in other presentations. For example, in the presentation of the CEO of USP, how to optimize usability, and just to show that it's also crucial and key being reaching your customers. Shouldn't communicate various independent devices through some kind of status management user interface, similarly to the mails. Even the mail systems were not integrated till the early 90s. You had the BBS, the CompuServe, X400, Internet mail system. These systems were not compatible with each other at those times. Even if you could receive an email only in the case if the address would be stored in your contacts, your mail traffic would be quite limited. I know you can tell me that this is exactly what we need, preventing spams, and of course that's a debate of the positive and exceptional listings. But if you are developing an application and a gadget, then you have to consider that you won't be alone. While working on the current application, we imagined how we are expecting the communication with dozens of IoT devices and services using by a smartphone. And the first objective has been empowering the address book of the smartphone to enrich all the entries with different status. And the second step was just to linked these entries to IoT devices and services. So current looks like an address book replacement, mixing the personal contacts with corporate entries and also with services, IoT gadgets. Because nowadays, all the entries and contact entries are enriched with status information, availability status, geographical status, and that's why they have a common structure. So this results the most dynamic address book of the 21st century. Not all devices which you would like to track need you have personally. Because there are also some aggregated informations of service providers' gadgets. You might track free table status of restaurants or free park places and so on. Correct is utilizing also the built-in sensors of the smartphones because it's also a very important source, and you can set the status of the owners automatically. But you have to distinguish between the functionalities relying on the built-in sensors and displaying the independent sensors also in the same address book. Some business cases which we studied are the following. Fitbit, for example, could tell my contacts if I am asleep, sitting down or exercising. And Tesla cars, which is also a very interesting case because Tesla cars became nowadays whole computing centers and planning exactly also the trip from the first charging station to the next one, could publish the information whether I am driving or where I am going to and where I am going to arrive to the people who are on my edited VIP list. My VIP list would be quite empty, I have to tell you, but people are very different, and there are hundreds of millions users for Foursquare and similar applications. Then an alarm or the drop cam can call of my attention if something happens in my home. And the Nest thermostat, which is automatic thermostat, very popular nowadays, it belongs to the Google, controlling the heating system. It could receive status information from me when I am nearby that should turn on the heating. And this is a feature which is not available from the current Nest thermostat. And I don't think that it's a problem because they don't have to invent everything alone. That's why it's good that this system can communicate with each other. So current is really great for the users who have multiple gadgets or IoT devices, and it's really good that you can control all of the devices with one app and on one screen, just avoiding the usability chaos. It's also very important that having such a transparent system, it's easier to add and try out further services and remove them again. And I think if you are a startup IoT developer, you can reach the people easier if they are using a system like this. So, Correct promises a dynamic growth also for their investors because of the opportunity serving also a service center and later probably also as a subscription center for IoT services. And actually it is extending the capabilities of the dumb address book of a smartphone. I think that the last dumb application on a smartphone is actually the address book, which hasn't been improved much since the middle of the 90s. The uniqueness of the correct is ensured also by patents, 4 granted US and 1 European patents. And I think that it is anyway very important having the availability status in the address book because most of the voice IP systems are offering it anyway. But the current is relying mostly on the phone number, which is good for the telecommunication companies. It's not necessarily that we are going to start our phone calls by phone numbers 10 years from now. It might be that we are going to use Google ID, Apple ID, Microsoft Live ID. So, Correct is good also for IoT developers, or all IoT developers are welcome as partners. If you would like to reach an existing community or rely on the status exchange platform in the cloud, then you can contact them. The infrastructure is built on the quite massive and scalable platform. This is Erlang, XMPP, Apache Cassandra for database, and Amazon EC2. So, Correct is also great for IoT developers because you can reach a user community without requiring them installing once again a new app to install. So, I think that it's a really good solution. The Correct is the name of the power sign over there in the right top corner. And it's also a Palo Alto-based startup company, having a developer team also in Budapest as well. The system was introduced on the Smart Mobile conference today in Budapest with synchronity with this presentation. One of the founders is Márton Anka. He has succeeded earlier with the product of LogMe in the past, and he focuses the investor relationship activities currently to the US, but originally Mr. Anka had a successful investment deal with the Speed Invest Austria for the LogMe in the past. So Correct is getting ready to bring in a Series A financing in $3 million. And the current budget of development activities is currently covered for the next 11 months. Correct is convincing European regarding the privacy. It was a surprise to me and very satisfying that privacy it was a recurring topic here in this conference today. Many of the presenters mentioned several aspects of this topic. There is no personal data stored by the Correct, solely randomly and irreversibly coded ID is stored on the servers. While many similar contact apps like social networking applications, loading all your phone contacts data to the clouds, Correct won't do that. Only this anonymous ID is stored over there. Correct is fully distributed. All your friends, contacts, email addresses, and phone numbers still be on your phone. Of course, you might have your own backup relying on the operating system backup functionality, but at least Correct won't make your privacy situation more complicated. So there is also a joke behind that cloud, which says that there must be a fire at home. Because I just receiving some Google ads of fire extinguisher. And this is really something we would like to avoid. And you have to consider, because if you are developing an IoT service or a gadget, how will you, how do you let register? How do you let register the users? Mostly by their Facebook account or Google ID or something like that. That means that especially if you are developing, for example, a sleeping tracker or something like that, quite sensible data can be linked to personal information, which won't happen if you do the very same with the carrot. Anyway, just two presentations before. I think in the room two, we could see a very interesting presentation which claimed that the book of Orwell, the 1984, wasn't a manual to follow. But nowadays, you might have a feeling that we are going just into the direction with the only distinction that the world didn't become some kind of depressive place, but very colorful. And you can be really desired to participate in it and give up your privacy quite easily. Further business cases which are considered are the following. First of all, game detection. Which friend of mine are playing World of Warcraft, and in which rooms, and what kind of dungeons are they acting? This is probably one of the most important areas when many people starting to gain some interest in carrot. Then, for example, university tutoring. When do the tutors have a time slot, and how can I apply for them? Then caregiver checker, personal free checker topics. Open table integration for restaurants. Propagated services are displayed mostly as contacts, but they can be extended by this status and other switches. Then it's also an opportunity that your wife can see when you are driving at home. Not for me, but for many people might be that interesting. So yes, thank you for your attention. Please receive further information and details on the homepage of the site. If you would like to integrate your solution to our system, then we are open for that. On the last screen, I just inserted a screenshot of our website where you can follow in real time how many status changes were transmitted by our core system. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm open for questions. If not, then. What's the last sentence?
Thanks for coming and was heißt durchhalten? And for your energy to hear the last talk of the day. The interest.
Your perseverance.
Perseverance. Thank you.